What is Sigala's favorite Sigala song?
Does it have to be one of mine?
I mean, that's kind of the point of the question.
All right. Okay.
Sigala, welcome to America's Dance 30. Thank you for your time today.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
So I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times already, but let's just get this out of the way now for all of our listeners. Where does Sigala come from?
It's an old family name. It was like my great-great-grandfather's last name. He was an Italian guy. And my mum had told me the story about him when I was younger, and his name just sort of stuck with me. So when it came to choosing a name for the project, I was like, it'd be nice to make it something relevant that means something rather than just picked out of a hat. So yeah, it has some meaning.
Now, was there another name besides Sigala that you were kind of trying to decide between?
There were some terrible names, man. I think one was like Captain Crunch, I think, which I decided sounded like a breakfast cereal.
It is a breakfast cereal. What are you talking about?
Wait, is it?
Yes.
Oh, maybe it was something else. All right, maybe I stole it from something. I don't know.
Which, P.S., if you haven't eaten Captain Crunch with raisins, you should definitely try it sometime. But anyways, That's a side story. Congratulations on Lasting Lover being number one for the second week in a row. That is so amazing.
That's incredible, man. I'm so happy. So happy about that.
How did it all come together with James Arthur?
James is someone I've been wanting to work with for ages. We've kind of been in touch, and we just kind of needed the right moment for both of us and the right song, because he doesn't do many features with DJs, and this really felt like the right song for him. It was written by Lewis Capaldi, so he was involved in the initial writing of the song, and then having his vocal on it while I was working on it, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to replace? Because he didn't want the song for himself. He was like, here, I have this song, I'd love for you to use it. But then I was spoilt with his voice. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be really, really difficult to replace him. And James came along and just smashed it. And yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Now, have you ever run into a situation where somebody says, I don't want this song, get somebody else, but then it gets released and they're like, oh my God, I totally should have just stayed on that song with you?
I like to think so, because there's definitely some songs that I've been really disappointed when I've had to change the feature, but then it usually ends up really well, and hopefully there's not any bad blood.
Now, a while back, you did a bracket on Twitter, if I remember correctly, trying to find out what song they thought was the best Sigala song. What finished as the best Sigala song? Do you remember?
I think it was maybe Sweet Lovin' or Came Here for Love. One of the two.
Either way, good choices.
Yeah, thanks, man. They're two of my favorites anyway, so I'm happy to hear that.
Well, that was going to be my next question. What is Sigala's favorite Sigala song?
Does it have to be one of mine?
I mean, that's kind of the point of the question.
All right, okay. I'd probably say, based on doing shows all over the world and seeing the reactions to the songs, I'd say Came Here for Love is probably the one that has had the biggest impact and is probably my favorite and was a lot of fun to make. And that's the song I usually end the shows on, because it just goes off. So that's got to be my favorite.
Now, speaking of shows, how have you been doing during the pandemic?
Been good, man. It's been weird. Not traveling at all. I love to have a balance of I'm very much I love to be at home. I love to be in the studio. I'm not a massive socializer, but the touring side is a really great opportunity to get out there and have loads of fun. And I've always tried to have a nice balance of the two. Otherwise, I just don't see anyone when I'm at home. And yeah, so it's been weird not doing that. But at the same time, I've really enjoyed spending time at home and chilling out. And when lockdown first happened, I literally did nothing for a month. I just played computer games and just ate pizza, and that was my life. I felt like I was ready to be that person for a little bit. I've been working hard, so I'm going to take a little break.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Thanks, man.
There was a meme that kind of, when this all started, that perfectly describes people like you and me who don't like socializing. It's like, we've been training for this our entire lives.
Yeah, it felt right.
Now, Sigala, I saw on your Instagram that your piano, you actually have a lot of signatures on it. Is there one signature that stands out to you?
Craig David is probably the one that stands out because it's literally like a work of art. Like he's signed a lot of autographs in his time. You can tell by the way he signed the piano it was just beautiful.
You're like, you
so
practiced.
Yeah.
And is it just all the people that you've worked with and the vocalists that you've worked with?
Yeah, it's everyone who's like come to my studio. The piano was there when I moved in and it was just like a wreck. It was like an old sort of dilapidated piano and I was close to just throwing it in the bin, and I was like, why not make something cool of it? So everyone's just come and signed it, and I'm gonna be holding on to that piano for a long time, man. It's like really sentimental now.
Yeah, it looks incredible. Well, congratulations on Lasting Lover, the success with that, 2 weeks at #1. I know it's hard to kind of look ahead, especially with everything going on, but what's next for Sigala in 2021?
Next year is going to be cool, man. I want to focus on releasing my second album. I've got loads more music I'm going to be putting out. I'm working on the next single at the moment. I can't say much about it because there's a lot sort of up in the air about who it's going to be with, but I'm super excited about it. And yeah, the album as well. I loved making my first album, and hopefully people love listening to it. So it's going to be cool to make another one.
I'm sure it's going to be incredible. Sigala, thank you so much for your time on America's Dance 30.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.